Welcome. We are live from the Legion M Lounge at Sundance 2018. Legion M is the first fan-owned entertainment company, and the lounge this year is sponsored by Cinemark Movie Club and Evolution Fresh. My name is Russ Fisher, and I am joined by my historian, Leonard Maltin. Please give my hands.
Very happy to be here.
Ooh, hey, that was a good wolf whistle. And from the film Night Comes On, premiering at the festival, we have director Jordana Spiro, and we have the actress Dominique Fishback.
Let's welcome them.
Please welcome them.
Now, you guys had your premiere last night.
We did.
What was that like?
For me, this was it's my second time seeing it. I saw it about 3 days before I came to Sundance because I have to see it before it premieres. But I will say that seeing it in a large theater with a great audience was definitely a great surprise. I felt myself worried about the character, even though I knew what was going to happen. I felt myself feeling like, oh, she's gonna do something that's gonna ruin everything, even though I knew. And I told myself, Dom, you know what's gonna happen. But it was a great experience.
Well, that's a great sign that you got so caught up in the movie.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And for you, Jordana?
I mean, you know, I'd been working on this film for over 6 years, and had been thinking about it for maybe like 9. So I mean, pretty much like birth of my kid, marrying my husband, and premiering at Sundance is, you know, and depending on the mood of my kid, around bedtime, maybe I'd say this is more fun. Yeah, thank you. But so it was, it really was and is one of the greatest moments of my life.
I can only imagine. And it's your first feature as a
Correct.
director.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, you really had in spite of all the time that you've had to devote to this, you went through the Sundance labs, didn't you? What a great privilege that must be. And for people who don't know, the Sundance Institute is a year-round enterprise. This film festival is very high profile, but not enough people know about the work they do all year long. Can you tell us just a little about your experience?
Yeah, definitely. The Screenwriters Labs, when you apply, they pick, I want to say it's like 8 to 10 projects every year, and in the winter it's a 5-day program. The program itself is 5 days, but the ripple effect of it is much longer, where they, within those 5 days, it's sort of an incubation period, and you're working with incredible advisors. Quentin Tarantino was one of our advisors, Casey Lemons, just incredible people. So prolific and so engaged with helping you tell the strongest story that you can tell. And then from there you have to apply to the Director's Lab, and that's a month-long program where you're putting scenes up on its feet, and then there's the Composer's Lab, which is at the Skywalker Ranch, which is crazy. And it's just, you know, the amazing thing about Sundance is I think it's hard to find your way into it, but once you do, they really hold on to you and try to give you all the support that they can.
So were you in the director's program as well?
Yeah, so we really had the incredible privilege of going from the Screenwriters Lab, and Angelica, my co-writer, and I went to the Screenwriters Lab, and then I went to the Director's Lab, and then to the Composer's Lab. And then, as a matter of fact, you know, this film was very difficult to find financing for. We tried for about 2 years, going down all the traditional paths, couldn't find it, and then Sundance invited us into their Catalyst program.
Catalyst?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Which is a new program to help you meet investors who are interested in the story, and stories that have a harder time finding their place in a marketplace.
What a great euphemism, but it's I don't mean that. I mean,
it's very much a catalyst for us. It really,
I was going to say, though, I don't mean that to be glib, but it's a great word
truly.
for bringing the right people together.
Yeah. I'm happy to be super earnest about it. It really changed everything for us in terms of you know, financially making the film a reality.
Wow.
So Dominique, on the subject of bringing people together, the two of you had worked together previously, a while ago, in a very different context.
Tell us.
I wonder if you could relate that.
Well, Jordana and I had...
I delivered Her
an
baby.
episode, yes, an episode of Royal Pains where I played a 16-year-old pregnant girl, and Jordana was my OBGYN and delivered my baby. And I was
She
like,
did great. Baby's
Thank you.
healthy, happy.
well, I scared myself because I went on YouTube and said, okay, let me watch people deliver, have some babies. I was like, I shouldn't have did that. That was not a good idea.
Don't do that.
I did. And so after I felt honored because I said, well, now I get to help deliver one of her art babies. And I actually love her baby as well. Her baby Raffi, she's
they're
my
cute
baby
together.
now. So I think
that's great.
all these babies are coming together too.
That's great.
And I read something about an off-Broadway play that you did where
Yeah.
you played more than the typical number of roles.
Yeah, so I have a one-woman show that I wrote called Subverted, and it's about the destruction of black identity in America. And I have two sides. It has a slave side and a modern-day side, and they parallel to show comparisons. And I played 22 characters.
Wow.
It's an hour and 20 minutes, no intermission. And Jordana,
Just 22?
just 22. Yes. Well, sometimes it changes depending on the venue, or if I'm like, if it's a festival and they have a play coming after, I might take a character out, or I might throw a character back in. So that's why I'm like, give or take these characters. Jordana came to see it. I didn't know that she was scouting me for this role of Angel, and she came and I was like, oh my God, good to see you. And little did I know.
Now, I haven't had a chance to see the movie yet, but from reading the description, it seems like a very tough movie about a very tough young woman. What drew you to this subject matter? What made you devote 9 years of your life to getting this on the screen?
Well, as an actress, I was getting increasingly, to be totally honest, disappointed by the way that women are portrayed, the lack of specificity with which they're portrayed, and at the same time, I was volunteering with an organization in Los Angeles called Peace for Kids, which supports foster youth and gives them a place to find their greatness and their significance outside of how they're stigmatized. And I felt like I was in the midst of these extraordinary young people who were braver than anybody I had ever met. And I really wanted to understand that more and explore that more and set a story in that world because it was just so different than how foster youth is generally portrayed. But of course it wasn't my background, so it was very important that I did my best to get it right, and the only way to do that is to include somebody who can speak to it firsthand. And I am very pleased and honored to have met Angelica Wandu, my co-writer, who had kind of graduated out of Peace for Kids and had aged out of foster youth, which is a very difficult moment in one's life. And she and I met. I had talked to her about what I was developing at the time. It resonated with her, and we started working together. And that's where the script really started to become a living, breathing thing.
Wow, what a journey you've been on.
Yeah, but finally today I can say worth it. Last week I was still pulling my hair out.
We're catching you at the perfect moment then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The baby has come out.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
It's clean. There's an Instagram,
Yeah.
Dominique, can you tell us about your role in the film a little bit, just so we can let everybody know?
So Angel is the young girl who just gets released out of juvie on the eve of her 18th birthday, and she's pretty much on a mission to avenge her mother's death. So in the course of doing that, she has to get her 10-year-old sister involved, and I think that is when the conflict really comes into play, because she has this little person that she cares about, but she's on a mission that's so dangerous that could ruin both their lives. So she's tunnel vision towards this, but has somebody else that she has to bring along, even though she doesn't want to, and that's where the push-pull happens. And yeah, I think Angel is such a wonderful character because she's able to be self-reflective in a way that I don't think that I've been able to be. No, she's very in tune with with her own feelings, even though she has a hard time expressing it. And I am often a person who wears all my emotions on my sleeve, and I have to talk out all of my feelings. But Angie doesn't do that. She's very clear with what she wants to do, and she goes for it.
Wow. I can't wait to see this. Do you have a distributor?
Not yet.
Oh, so let's make it known. Let's make it known that your film, Night Comes On,
available.
is available for distribution.
Yes, absolutely. We are very much looking for the right home for it, and we think it's the right moment and the right time, and the conversation that's happening matches the conversation in the film. So that's
Timing. It's all about timing. Isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
How interesting though. But it's been gestating so long, and yet now at this moment, as you just said, when it's being shown to the public for the first time, seems like the moment, the ideal moment.
And if I may add, what I think is wild about that is that I think that that's what's so incredibly powerful about the movement that's happening right now, and the Time's Up movement that's happening right now, is because I feel like what you just said is what that movement is about. It's been this bubbling up for so long, and it's just all exploding right now, and it's powerful and exciting, and I like to think of it as really positive.
As we're sitting here right now, there are 500,000 women marching in Los Angeles.
I was
right
here this
now.
morning, and around,
around
cities
here.
all over.
Yeah.
Exactly. Briefly, you were at Sundance in 2012 with the short. Does Sundance feel different this year in the wake of Me Too? We had the Women's March last year. This is the first anniversary. So we're getting back a year later. The Me Too movement has really become a powerful thing. Is there any noticeable difference in the festival?
I mean, it's hard for me to say because I've been in the bubble of my own, narcissistic panic of hoping people like the film. So it's hard for me to say. But I really hope so, and I think so. I think I've lost my train of thought. How do you feel, Dom?
Well, this is my first time at Sundance, so I have to say that I don't know what it was like before, but I'm just honored to be here. I'm excited. I did the artist at the table on the first night and was around so many women that I admired my whole life, so to be in the same room with them and conversation with them was just amazing. So I don't know if any of the movements is a reason for that, but if it is, I'm thankful for it. So.
That's great. It's a pleasure to have you both here today. Thank you for sharing some of your time with us.
We have a public scrning tonight at 11:30. I mean, it's 11:30 at night, but you guys are probably gonna be partying anyway, so you might as well just come party with us and meet the characters. And is at the Prospector Theater?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then a screening tomorrow night as well.
Oh, good.
At 9.
Tonight at 11:30, tomorrow night at 9.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Jordana Spiro, Dominique Fishback, thank you.